So let's talk about this piece of shit movie that I just watched, which was awful. I watched this movie and I got Shudder, so I've been watching a lot of horror movies I haven't seen, and I'm excited to find so many on Shudder that I want to watch. But I watched Summer Camp Massacre, but the twist of this movie is that it is Caesar and Otto's Summer Camp Massacre, and if I knew that, I wouldn't have I really don't think I would have seen this movie, because this movie, I didn't know who Summer and Otto, or Caesar and Otto are, at all, and I thought that this was a literal slasher because it has Felissa Rose in it, and it is a slasher, but this movie is awful because it's not just a slasher, it's about these two dumb, annoying characters named Caesar and Otto, who I could not stand, and it's about them being stupid the whole movie with humor that I hated. I hated the humor in this movie completely. I thought this was awful. And then there's this first scene where the Caesar and Otto characters are on the couch, and Caesar got onto a soap opera, and he said like a line, like, do you want like it was something about salad, like it was at a restaurant. He said an order to two people on a soap opera. And then he puts his head down on the camera on that scene when he's acting. He says, okay, be right back. And like he just walks away off the camera, but he puts his face in front of the camera on TV. It's really dumb. And the Caesar guy then has shenanigans. Like he goes and drives a car, and then he finds a pregnant 16-year-old pregnant girl who's not 16, she's like a 30-year-old, and she says that I'm 16, and I'm like, no, you're not. And then Caesar beats up this guy who's mentally challenged, but he's not mentally challenged at all, because this guy who acted as the mentally challenged guy has never seen anybody who's mentally challenged. He acts like a normal person. And then they suddenly go to a summer camp. And I'm just like, what the fuck? This is so awful. But there's one thing that I can give this positive. Felissa Rose is in this, and this is why I watched this movie, because it's all Felissa Rose is in it as the killer, as Carrie. Now, Carrie, Felissa Rose's character, just randomly comes to the summer camp where they're at. She kind of acts like Angela. There's times where she just doesn't say anything. She makes this Angela stare, which I loved. She even references Sleepaway Camp. They even reference it. One joke from Otto is like, you really don't have a penis, do you? Like, they literally joke about that, and I'm like, so is this related to Sleepaway Camp? No, because she said that I grew up in this summer camp where like I had hairy legs because I'm really hardcore Italian, and then it's just like, what? Like, it's just so weird. And the thing, besides her, like, she's totally alright. Like, I think Felissa Rose in this movie was honestly the only reason why I could give this any positive. Because I didn't know this was about these two dumb characters that are so unfunny. Especially Caesar. But this movie is awful because the jokes are... And I know this is trying to be a low-budget, stupid movie, but I'm just like, it's not even going to try to be a horror movie. It's just trying to be these characters doing stupid shit, and then they go to a horror movie, kind of. And it has awful jokes. Jokes that are so obvious and brainless and on the nose. Like, there's one where somebody says, I want to shoot you. And it's Felissa Rose. She says, I want to shoot you. And then she clicks the camera and she's like, see, I'm a photographer. I'm like, no, stop that. Don't make Felissa Rose look unfunny. And then there was one clever joke, though, that I thought was funny, where this guy, there's like a killer who acts as somebody, throws the axe right at him. The second it does that, it cuts to somebody squirting paint onto a board, so it's a squat noise, and then he's just painting. I thought that was really clever. It just, I don't know, like, it's like the killer just goes around and kills people while these Caesar and Otto characters are so awful and so stupid. And this is my first thing I've seen them in, so I don't know if they're good in anything else, but I think they were terrible in this. And then you realize in the end that these counselors are like killing people and selling their organs in the black market. What? And then you realize Carrie, Felissa Rose, was a detective the whole time. Like, she was a detective trying to figure out where this led. Okay? And then that's it. Like, it's just this kind of horror movie that's not a horror movie because it was about these Caesar and Otto characters who were just awful. I thought this movie was atrocious. Besides Felicia Rose, who had some dumb lines too, but she was funny in some spots, and she did the stare from Sleepaway Camp great. But besides that, this was just horrendous to watch. I hated this movie. I just couldn't even find anything to, besides her, to give this movie. Those characters are both so unfunny. Caesar and Otto are so unfunny. Caesar is a character that's he's trying to be feminine, but it's so unfunny, and it's like, why? Like, it's just dumb. And then he just says things really fast. He talks really fast, so it's funny. And then, like I said, the obvious jokes were like, she says, like, I want to shoot you, and then, like, she shoots him with the camera, like, takes a picture. It's dumb, and it's so bad, and the other jokes I've already forgotten. I'm glad I wrote that one down, because I can't remember any other bad jokes, because they were so forgettable, too, and brainless, so I couldn't stand this movie. This movie was terrible. So, fuck this movie. I really didn't hate it. That's all I can say. Fuck this movie.